Hello and welcome to Sunnyvale in Dunedin for today's ISPS HANDA Premiership clash between Southern United, who will be playing in their blue strip, and the Wellington Phoenix reserves side in all white today. My name's Morgan Jarvis and I'm joined by Chris Wright here beside me. G'day Chris.
Morgan, how are you?
Very good. In a little bit of a change from the conditions that we've had at our most recent matches, it's a little bit cooler and windier today than the last few weeks. We are sitting inside today rather than out on the deck like we were at the game versus Auckland, and it's quite comfy and cosy in here. But the conditions shouldn't be too bad for the players, I don't think.
It's certainly not beer weather today, but 12 degrees or so outside. Nice bit of wind outside to keep blowing over. Yeah.
You may see a few of the signs on the far side of the field tip over at some point during the game because there's a bit of a breeze that rips through the field a bit.
It's going to be an interesting matchup today, Morgan. We were chatting before the game. A lot of people looking at the table would expect Southern United to be favourites here. We personally don't feel it's as clean cut based on, I guess, a recent uplift in form and playing style from the Phoenix, and a couple of players in the lineup today don't make it such a black and white fixture.
Yeah, that's right. It's easy to look at the league table this season and see that the Phoenix have only had one win and one draw so far this season. But over the past few seasons, they've certainly been a bit of a bogey team for Southern United. In fact, I think in the last 9 meetings, Southern have actually only had 3 wins over the Phoenix reserves here, and while the Phoenix have had 5 wins themselves. And as you say, Chris, there's a couple of interesting faces in the Phoenix lineup today, including Anthony Gollick, who's a recent signing for the senior Phoenix squad, getting some game time here, and I have to say that with an injury last night to Dylan Fox, who I think may be out for the rest of the season for the senior Phoenix team in the A-League, Anthony Gollick will be wanting to put on a performance today. So the Phoenix with possession to open up the game. A couple of changes. There's an underhit back pass there, but fortunately Liam Little gets it safely out to Stephen Last, although the Phoenix still press and create a bit of pressure here. Benjamin Wayne attacking in on goal, but looks like a goal kick there for Southern United. But yeah, a couple of changes for Southern, some enforced, including missing captain Connor O'Keefe today, Chris.
Yeah, so Connor picks up 5 yellow cards for the season and is forced to miss a game following his booking at Tasman last weekend. Also missing Ben Dealey through illness. So a little bit of change in the lineup today. You've got Marcus Fjortoff moving across to right fullback. And local Mosgiel player Rory Finley coming in at left back for, I think it's probably his 6th or 7th game this season, which is exciting for such a young player.
Yeah, it's definitely great to see Rory back in the mix because he's been really impressive stepping up to National League action so far this season. Yeah, Southern have been quite fortunate this season as Azariah Soroman is on the ball and finds Garvin, who leaves it for Danny Ledwith, but his ball's easy for Zach Jones and goals for the Phoenix there. But Connor O'Keefe is among 5 players in the Southern squad who have, I think, started every game so far this season, which has given them a really good stability, and I think that includes a couple of the other defenders and Eric Panzer and Stephen Last, and I think it's looks like Is it Stephen last out there with the captain's armband today?
Yeah, that's right. Lasty picks up the captain's armband. Tony White had actually missed his first game last weekend. He was a bit upset about that, but yeah, quite an interesting midfield today with him and Danny Ledwith and Connor McDonald just sitting in front.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see Connor McDonald. He's in the number 7 shirt for Southern United. He put on quite a display in his debut a couple of weeks ago, scoring a goal at Forsyth Bar Stadium. Callan Elliott on the ball for the Phoenix Reserves, a very exciting young player who was signed, essentially signed to the senior squad at the start of the season from Tasman United, where he's played a few games over the last couple of seasons at this level, and wouldn't be surprised if he had a chance with the senior team in the A-League at some point in the near future.
Yeah, he was exceptional, I thought, last season. He caused a lot of problems for other teams. Yeah,
really exciting attacking player on the ball. It's quite interested to see that he's played 13 games this season but is yet to score a goal in the league actually, so he'll be wanting to rectify that before the season's out, I'm sure. As Connor McDonald, such a gritty player, and he does well there to win a free kick for Southern United in an attacking position with El Khaleesi looking to take it quickly.
I think as usual we'll see a discussion between Danny Ledwith and Al Khaleesi, but
just swung over the bar there from Danny Ledwith from down in the left-hand corner.
Something a little bit different there. I think their expectation was that will be swung in.
Yeah, just given the weather conditions outside, we have a slightly different setup today with the camera from inside the lounge at the Sunnyvale Village Green area. So slightly different camera angle, but I think we've got a pretty good look at the field here.
Yeah, we might just be missing the closest two corners, but we'll do the best we can.
Right, El Khaleesi back to Ledwith, who can't find Garvin Coughlin, but will be a throw in there for Southern. Certainly be a bit chilly for the coaches and subs down on the sideline there today as Rory Findlay surges forward and Coughlin with a nifty outside of the foot cross, but straight to Zach Jones. Just a bit of time over the goal kick here, but Zach Jones, who his Phoenix Reserve side might just have a wee bit of a tail breeze at the moment by the looks of it. A bit of a swirly wind.
Someone else missing today, Morgan, is Sam Pickering. I saw him hobbling around last week after a physio session, so yeah, he's recovering from what looks to be a calf injury.
Oh, that's a shame because he's been an important squad player this season, both starting in a number of games and off the bench. Rory Findlay on the ball there, and Connor McDonald knocking it back to the captain for the day, Stephen Last. Looks like the Phoenix Reserves have set up quite a high press, quite a long way up the field, but that's something which Marcus Fjortoft just about broke free from there.
Yeah, I've got to say Phoenix are boxing in Southern United quite well when they're in possession. Lots of players back, quite high energy.
It's Fjortoft on the ball again. Slotted into Connor O'Keefe's position today. Yeah, the Phoenix Reserves have the equal worst record for goals against in the league this season. They've conceded 41 goals, along with Hawke's Bay as well. Meanwhile, Southern United have just conceded 23 so far this season, so that shows one of the reasons why Southern are performing so highly up the table this season in 5th spot. Again, the Phoenix prepared to push quite a few players forward into Southern's half to press there. Played forward by Boyd Curry, and on the ball now is Gianni Stensonis for the Phoenix. And it's he who sends it left, but the towering Fjortoft can easily get his head to that one. Audacious effort there from Garvin after Connor McDonald did a great job of winning the ball. He's so tenacious in the middle of the park there, so it's going to be dangerous for the Phoenix, I think.
Garvin had his head in his hands there, sorry. He knew that was an opportunity. The keeper was quite far off the line.
Yeah, and you'd never bet against him with a speculative effort like that. Pump long, and that's easy for Rory Findlay, who knocks it down to El Khaleesi. He finds McDonald, but and
there's going to be a yellow card there.
Shin pad flying there as Connor McDonald launched into a tackle. That's just the way he plays, isn't it? He picked up a very early yellow card in his debut match as well, but it didn't change his style of play. But he will have to be careful with picking up a yellow card inside the first 10 minutes. So the player on the ball at the moment for the Phoenix, Anthony Golick, who, as I mentioned earlier, has vast experience in the A-League and even internationally, as an effort comes in on goal there, and it's not a million miles away. Just didn't quite catch who hit that from distance, but just making sure that Liam Little's alert in goals. It just sailed wide. May have been Stensonis with the shot there. Yeah, Anthony Golick, number 14 for the Phoenix Reserves, has got a pretty impressive resume. He was part of the Sydney FC A-League squad that won the A-League. It was back in, I think, 2009-10. He was part of the Western Sydney Wanderers side that won the 2014 Asian Champions League tournament, and he's played in South Korea and Iran and Moldova, as well as for about 6 or 7 A-League clubs. So great player for the Phoenix Reserves to have on board today. Kellen Elliott is on the ball and gets past El Khaleesi. I think they'll win a corner there.
Zach Jones worth a mention there in that move, received the pass back and...
Oh, as it's come in, quickly taken and...
Sorry, caught me by surprise there, Morgan.
Yeah, dribbled under Liam Little. That was half a chance if the Phoenix were a wee bit more alert in front of goal there. Sorry, Chris, you were saying that the...
Yeah, just Zach Jones, I thought, did a really good job there of distribution. Received the ball with Garvin Coughlin pressing him and spread it out to the fullback.
There's another long-range effort comes in, and again, just wide of goal. That might have been Willem Ebbing for the Phoenix there. I think it's one thing, having seen the Phoenix Reserves in the Premiership over the last 3 seasons now, they're clearly encouraged to play a certain brand of football that maybe sometimes works against them in some respects, but they're always trying to play a fast and positive style of football, and that includes distribution from the back and that high level of pressing that we were talking about earlier. So it's going to be a good test for Southern United today.
Yeah, I'd say by early indications the Phoenix is certainly looking more dangerous than Southern United right now. There's been a couple of opportunities from distance, one in the box. Southern just probably need to calm the game down a little bit, keep possession.
It's well won in the air by Curry for the Phoenix. Yeah, I know that just a couple of seasons ago the Phoenix travelled down here and played at Forsyth Bar Stadium and I think won 3-0, and there was a certain youngster, Sarpreet Singh, who was a bit of a star that day, and everyone knows what he's gone on to achieve in the A-League now. So make sure that you watch out for a few of these names on display today, because we've seen with the Phoenix, with the likes of Sarpreet Singh and Liberato Kakacha and that they will get opportunities if they're good enough. Just over the head of Whitehead, but he's got the ball back now for Southern United. And there's a free kick for Southern.
There's a fairly large nudge in the back there.
Yeah.
On Connor McDonald. Potentially some revenge for earlier. At half-time, Connor O'Keefe has agreed to join us for a chat.
Yeah, that'll be neat. I imagine he'll probably be finding it a bit challenging, having to watch from the sideline today, and a bit of a different experience for someone who's been such a key part of the squad over the last 3 seasons. As El Khaleesi sends the ball in for Southern, but can't beat the first man. Just dribbles away for a goal kick for the Phoenix.
We're being crowded out here a little bit, Morgan, by Football South board members. Matthew Holdridge, chairman of Football South, Southern United's board behind us, and Graham Marshall, who did that great interview with you a few weeks ago, Morgan.
Yeah, no, I think we'll have to be very careful what we say now, given the company that surrounds us. As Soreman may have just been offside there.
It's good to see Azariah getting another start today. I think we've seen him impress, certainly since Christmas, since he arrived. He's managed to get some game time after sitting on the bench for a couple of games and proven that he can add something at this level.
Yeah, I was actually quite excited to see him in action today against the Phoenix. It could be the kind of game where he might just find a little bit of space out there on that right touchline. Garvin Coughlin concedes a free kick there. But yeah, Soreman hasn't had too many chances in the games that he has played so far, so it'd be great to see him get a little bit of space in attack today.
Yeah, having chatted to him after the Waitakere game, he was a little bit upset at missing a one-on-one opportunity late in the game.
Yeah, very late, wasn't it? Yeah. Could have sealed the game, and Southern just about conceded a goal just moments after that, so he would have been kicking himself then, but luckily it wasn't an issue. As Curry knocks it out to Elliott, who's hugging the right touchline for the Phoenix. And that's nicely shut down there by El Khaleesi, who's been doing that all season for Southern United. McDonald once again involved, and Panza finds El Khaleesi, who's onside. 1-on-1 with Curry. Finds Coughlin, equal top scorer in the league, but he sends his left-footed shot well over the bar.
That's an excellent ball through from Eric Panza there.
It was, yeah. Launched a very quick counter-attack. I don't know if you've spoken much to Garvin Coughlin about it lately, Chris, but is he quite keen to try and get that Golden Boot title for the season? I think he's equal top with 12 goals at the moment.
So at the start of the season, his aim was 10 for the season, and he's revised that to 15 now. So he feels that 15 would put him in good stead for a Golden Boot award for the season. We hope he can do it.
Yeah, no, he's been...
I mean, he could get all of them today. That would be ideal.
It would, wouldn't it? That would be great. Stensness wins the ball there and finds Ben Wayne, but he can't find a teammate, with Fjortoft easily gathering the ball there. As Findlay wins a free kick, challenge from Ben Wayne. Ledwith takes it quickly, tries to find Coughlin, but the linesman was onto that and flags offside. But Southern looking to kickstart that one quickly. Some more familiar faces entering the comfort under the roof here, Chris.
Yeah, Darren Hard over there. He coached for the Southern United futsal team and university first, along with James Coombs, his assistant coach.
Got a raft of options for halftime chats today, haven't we? So the ball comfortably goes through to Liam Little there. Looks to start a quick move out from the back here. But once again, the Phoenix have got plenty of players up in Southern's half and not making it easy for Southern to play out from the back there. It's interesting to see from a team that's bottom of the league, only had one win all season, but playing with a very high tempo and high pressing game.
Yeah, they'll be seeing today as an opportunity to get some points, I'm sure. With the way they've been playing, they have been unlucky in the past 3 or 4 games, and they've also played some of the big opposition, as has Southern. But they're looking extremely energetic at the moment.
Oh, as the ball comes through, Connor McDonald through, and a mistake from Zach Jones, and Connor McDonald pounces and opens the scoring rather fortuitously, almost really out of nothing. What happened there, guys? Because I kind of took my eye off it for half a second.
Keeper made a mistake.
Yeah, just
tried to switch play, but lost it.
Yeah, mistake from Zach Jones. As we were saying earlier, he's always looking to get on the ball and play it out from the back, but he's just made a bit of an error there, the young keeper. And as we've said, Connor McDonald's always quick to pounce on a mistake, and it was easily slotted to open the scoring. 21 minutes gone, Southern lead the Wellington Phoenix Reserves 1-0.
I'm just pulling up the instant replay.
Yeah, well, it really did come out of nothing, because Zach Jones hadn't really had too much to do in goals for the Phoenix, but that might have led to him just being caught out there.
Yeah, so it actually began from a Phoenix throw position in the opposite half. See, just scuffs the ball when Zach Jones tries to clear it and scuffs the ball.
Yeah, scuffed effort from Zach Jones. I have to say, I don't know if he could blame the turf out there today, because the pitch isn't in bad nick. So just an unfortunate mistake, trying to play it across his body, and McDonald pounced. And here he is again on the ball. It's going to be a great battle with the likes of Stensness in the middle of the park there.
And Golick is quite the unit, isn't he?
He is. He's a giant at the back there. I think he's 6'4". So it'd be interesting if you lined him up on the height chart with Marcus Fjortoff for Southern United. They'd probably have to be the two biggest players out on the pitch there.
They'd have to be about that, yeah. I played in England with a guy who was 6'10", and we called him Smeg, which is a brand of fridge in the UK.
Yeah, I think my nickname back in the day was the Wardrobe, but it was only partly based on my size and probably more based on my complete lack of mobility. There's a Phoenix have a corner here, and it's not a bad one, but can't quite get a flick on towards goal. And I think Stensness there eyeing up a long-range effort, but instead sends it wide and his teammates offside. Quickly taken by Southern. Al Khaleesi tries to get the better of Ben Wayne, but can't.
Yeah, Paul O'Reilly, just seeing him get frustrated a little bit on the sideline at the 5 or 6 times in the last 2 minutes, given possession away. He wants them to stop trying miracle balls and long balls and actually start playing the ball on the ground a little bit more.
Yeah, and that's really the way that the game's played out so far, despite the scoreline. The Phoenix have been quite comfortable when they've been in possession. So Southern definitely won't want to relax too much despite taking the lead. Rory Finley sends it into the middle. You saw the ball hang up in the wind there, so the breeze looks like it's picked up a bit. And Fjortoft runs down the right. Finds Whitehead. Launches an effort from a long way out, but it's blocked by the Phoenix defence there. Oh, a Phoenix player clattered into there, but they maintain possession, but they will knock it out, just so their player can get some attention.
Eric Panzer looks a little frustrated that he felt he was fouled in the lead up to,
it was
that injury.
Just a bit of a tussle on the ball. We had much of a crowd coming down underneath us there, Chris.
Yeah, I'd say there's around 100 down there.
Yep.
100,000 of them.
100,000, yep. Plus a few over on that far touchline as well, and I think there's quite a number of people up in the lounge as well.
How busy is the lounge, guys?
Very
busy,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, good support. Car park, we're going to park miles away.
Yeah, car park's full at Sunnyvale. Got the wonderful Village Green Cafe here as well, which does great food. They do a good long black. How's their peppermint tea, Chris?
It's beautiful, actually.
Yeah.
Considering stealing their teapot, actually.
Very nifty, yeah. No, they do great food and drinks here.
Yeah, it looks like it might be a substitution here.
Yeah, maybe Noah Tiffany Clegg, is it number 13?
Oh no, number 3.
Oh, number 3, sorry.
Curtis Mogg.
Oh, Curtis Mogg coming, who looks like he's coming on, yeah. Maybe for the number 13 as play gets back underway. For the moment, the Phoenix reserves are down to 10 players as they will be looking to make an enforced substitution.
Great covering of the fullback position there from Daniel Edworth. Saw a slip from Rory Finley.
And here we go with McDonald getting forward, finds Soroman, who comes in, flicks it across. El Khaleesi wasn't far away from getting on to the end of that, and that was more encouraging for Southern, getting a few players forward, and we've got plenty of attacking talent out there today, Southern United, so they'll be looking to make the most of chances like that.
Yeah, it looks like a shoulder or neck injury, actually.
Yeah, possibly a collarbone injury for, I think it was Tiffany Clegg, whose match has ended inside the opening half hour here, unfortunately, as Sam Sutton, the Phoenix captain, surges forward here. And Phoenix get a few players forward, and wasn't quite dealt with by the Southern defence there, but goes through to Liam Little.
No, that was a good opportunity there. A rare time you'll see Garvin Coughlin give up possession.
So other than the 28-year-old Anthony Golick for the Phoenix Reserves, most of this team are under the age of 20, and the player who's being brought onto the pitch now, Curtis Mogg, he's one of the younger ones at just 17 years of age, making his 12th appearance for the team this season. Looks like Garvin Coughlin has had a free kick go against him there.
He just looks a little frustrated at the moment, Garvin, maybe a bit isolated.
Yeah, he hasn't seen a lot of ball so far today, and he does like to be heavily involved. As Panzer with the clearing header there for Southern. Now, just hoping that the stream will stay with you at the moment as Connor McDonald gets forward, crosses, centres it forward, looking for either Soroman or El Khaleesi, but can't quite find them. Just having to do a wee technical battery change here, I think, so please bear with us for a minute. We'll try and keep up with the game for you as well. Our IT guru Anthony is pretty adept at doing about 5 things at once, so see how we go here. Elliott on the ball for Phoenix. Sent out towards the left touchline. Quite a different approach between the two teams when they're out of possession, with Southern United quite comfortable, especially now with the 1-goal lead, to sit back in their sort of 2 blocks of 4, not pressing quite as high as the opposition. But here's William Ebbing in a bit of space. Nicely done by Stephen Last coming across and averting the danger. Have we averted the other danger there, Chris?
Yep, the battery situation is now charging, which is good.
Brilliant. As you can see, the corner flag there with quite a breeze that corner's being taken into, and that just makes it a wee bit awkward for Liam Little, who opts to punch it away for another corner. Phoenix have looked quite threatening from these set pieces, so Southern defence will have to be alert, but that's sent a bit too deep, and that's that wind once again wreaking havoc.
Someone just taking an opportunity there for a milkshake of some type. Yeah,
you'll have to excuse if there's a wee bit of background noise. There's a lot of activity in the cafe and that here, so hopefully you're not picking up too much of that noise. I think we got pretty lucky with the last home game against Auckland City. We were sitting out on the deck under a sun umbrella. I managed to get a bit sunburnt actually, but that was stunning conditions. It's a little bit more wintry today.
Playing out from the back, not quite so textbook there from Sunday United.
Yeah, and that's where the Phoenix Reserves style of play out of possession does make that tricky. Garvin Coughlin now looking to launch a counter, although well cleared by, it might have been Boyd Curry there.
Got to say that was a beautiful bit of control from Paul O'Reilly there on the sideline.
I missed that, but have to say the number 6 for Phoenix Reserves, who won that header there, Gianni Sensinis, he's quite a big unit in the middle of the park. He's only 20 years of age, and he actually hails from Australia. And I think he played for the Young Socceroos, but he's now pledged his allegiance to New Zealand, so could be an interesting player to watch out for over the coming years as Southern look to create something in attack. Ledwith wins it back for El Khaleesi, but he's not quite on the same wavelength as Connor McDonald there. Zach Jones, who unfortunately for the Phoenix Reserves was at fault for the only goal we've had so far in the match with the goal kick, and McDonald does well to find Garvin Coughlin, opens up space, and that's not far away from that top right corner. He's so dangerous in those sort of situations. And Anthony Golick, the experienced head in the Phoenix Reserves defence there, is just giving his teammates a bit of a rack up because they can't afford to give Coughlin that much space.
Yeah, Garvin Coughlin won't need to be told that was a very good opportunity to extend the lead.
He's so good at creating a chance out of nothing, and he almost sets up Connor McDonald there.
Here's where Southern have to be very careful on this counter-attack.
Oh, as Fjortoff clatters into the opponent there, but he might do well not to get a bit of a chat from the referee at the next stoppage of play. This is where you want to make sure the ball stays in play for a wee while so the referee forgets.
You know all the tricks, do you, Morgan?
Yes, I'm very, very used to that one. Sam Sutton in the middle of the park there finds Elliott, who's in a lot of space out on the right-hand side. Back to Sutton. He's always looking keen to drive forward with the ball. Sutton again. Finds Elliott. Looking for the 1-2, but spared inside to Sutton again. He tries a clever chip into the penalty area. Panzer does a great job though of shielding that one away. Bit of a battle for the ball there, McDonald and Elliott. Now Southern looking to launch another counter, and right idea with Whitehead trying to unleash Soroman into a bit of space, but didn't quite work out.
Fortunately, just another piece of evidence there that Southern's execution isn't quite as sharp as it has been to date this season. Yeah,
I think there might just be a little bit of a sense of frustration out there that it's things just aren't quite gelling as smoothly as Southern would like, but hey, they are leading 1-0 at the moment, so it's the Phoenix that have all the work to do.
The off-the-ball movement from the Phoenix, though, is exceptional.
Oh, yeah, you can see there's a certain real level of technical excellence. And there's Soroman unleashing Coughlin one-on-one inside the area onto his right foot. He's surrounded by 3 defenders and not many teammates now. But he finds El Khaleesi. Phoenix have done a good job of getting 6 players back into their penalty area there. So they broke down what was quite a promising counter-attack. But here's El Khaleesi. Findlay getting a long way forward from left fullback position.
It's a beautiful ball.
Yeah, it's a good cross, and Coughlin almost got on the end of that. And what do we got? It might have just been a free kick awarded there.
Garvin Coughlin just getting a bit physical there, climbing on the back of the defender.
Yeah, he's looking to get involved, isn't he?
I thought 2 very good crosses in there from Rory Findlay. In swingers, well aimed into the danger zone.
Yeah, clearly his confidence is soaring. His primary duty in the team will obviously be to be good in defence, but if he can start getting involved in the attacking plays down that left-hand flank, that'd be really encouraging for Southern United. As Stephen Last concedes a corner there, another corner for Phoenix. I do wonder, maybe this tailwind that the Phoenix seem to have in this half might be just making things a bit tricky out there for Southern to get out as well. So the ball swung in and it's been put in. That was a header that's just bounced over Liam Little, and Phoenix reserves equalise. It's 1-1 here at Sunnyvale in the 39th minute. And I think that may be Stensonis who got forward from midfield and got his head to the ball. It was swung in. So the equaliser for the Wellington Phoenix reserves. You'd be hard pressed to say that they don't potentially deserve it either, because they've been quite impressive on attack today. It's going to make for an interesting wee period before the half-time break now, with the scores now locked up. Soroman looks like he's switched sides with El Khaleesi, so Soroman the 13 for Southern United, now on this left-hand flank. El Khaleesi in the 10 shirt, out on the right-hand side. As Richards is on the ball there for Phoenix reserves, but Southern will look to counter. Garvin Coughlin just about got onto the end of that one.
Just rewatching that goal, Morgan. It's a short corner, in swinging cross.
It was a difficult one to deal with, wasn't it?
Yeah, certainly. It looked like it was affected by the wind, and the attacking player actually did really well to head the ball into the ground.
Yeah, he did just enough to get onto it, and here's another chance for Wellington Phoenix, and camera didn't quite show the result there, but it did fly over the bar, but that was another chance there for Phoenix. So I think we can confirm that it was the number 6 for the Phoenix reserves, Gianni Stensonis, who equalised, but now Coughlin on the ball for Southern United and gets across in. Soroman with a header, and yes, it's gone in! Azariah Soroman puts Southern United back in front just a couple of minutes after the equaliser, and that was actually quite clever, I think, from Connor McDonald, who was right on the far post. He just managed to get out of the way of the ball. If he had got a touch, he might have been called offside there, so Southern United very quickly. Yeah, I think Chris just has a wee look at the replay of the goal there, and I think he would have been offside if McDonald had got a touch, so he's done well to get out of the way, and Soroman scores his first goal for Southern United. So great counter-attack there by Southern United, and straight back into the lead. We'll be looking to hold on to that until the half-time break, which is just a few moments away. If you've only just joined us, Southern United took the lead quite early in the first half. I'm just trying to remember exactly when that goal was. But it was Connor McDonald, the number 7 for Southern United, who put them in front. There's a yellow card for a foul in the middle of the park there, and it's looking like a free kick to Southern United. Yeah, he got that one there. I think McDonald got the opener.
Yeah, assist there from Garvin Coughlin. He'll be happy with that.
Can he count that towards, is that half a point towards his goal tally? He might try and claim that.
Just a number of the Caversham Premier League squad dropped in to watch the game. Now, I've seen them doing a lot of running around town. I was on my way through North Dunedin yesterday and saw them on what was on apparently an extended running fitness regime, which saw them hit all the highlights of Dunedin's tourism industry.
Oh, wow.
So I believe they're on their way back from Baldwin Street.
Oh, so they made it up to the top, did they?
I have no idea if they actually had to run up Baldwin Street. That would certainly get you fit.
That would be a gutbuster, yeah. How many weeks away are we, Chris, from the start of the local Premier League?
The Premier League starts on the 23rd of March, so a couple of weeks earlier this year than usual, just to try and fit in a number of extra games with Wanaka and Grants Braes both coming back into the Premier League.
It's shaping up to be quite an exciting league with another couple of new teams this season, especially Wanaka-based team. That's really exciting to see another team based outside of Dunedin in the league. As Sutton's on the ball for Phoenix Reserves, looking for another equaliser just before the break. That's easily claimed by Liam Little.
Yeah, so it'd be good to see what Wanaka can do. We know a little bit about Grants Braes, given that they've played in the Fletcher Cup in the Otago region for a number of years, but Wanaka do have a number of the Sydney United youth players in the squad who are based in that region and are coached by Ian Bell. Wanaka as a club are doing good stuff. They've got a football development officer now involved, Tom, who is recent in the role, but he's showing he's doing a lot of good stuff already. So it's an exciting time for the Central Otago region. And of course, there's a promotion relegation risk this year potentially for teams coming in. We're planning on adding an additional league below the Premier League next year that will see the 3 relegated from the Premier League this season.
Is the Phoenix Reserves surge forward here, and well cut out by Rory Findlay. He's done a great job of cutting in from the left there. As a yellow card is shown, I think, for an earlier foul, maybe by might have been Tony Whitehead who's seen yellow there, but that was a big chance for Phoenix Reserves.
Yeah, if that was Tony, I believe he now misses the next game through suspension.
The corner's swung in and just goes a bit long, and I think that's the half-time whistle. It is. So half-time here at Sunnyvale Park. Southern United lead the Wellington Phoenix Reserves 2-1. It's been an interesting half. It really came to life in the last few minutes of the half there, Chris.
Yeah, after the early mistake from Zach Jones, we saw a bit of a stalemate for a while, but Phoenix looked pretty comfortable that they could actually bring something to the game, and eventually did. Thankfully, Southern got one back before half-time. After not looking great on the ball, certainly compared to the last 3 or 4 games, as they would hope to be. Good opportunity now for both coaches to reset and develop a plan for the second half.
Yeah, I don't know about you, Chris, but I certainly feel like there could be a few more goals in this game in the second half, so make sure that you stick around. I think we'll be having a half-time interview as well, and here just wandering in is the Southern United squad captain Connor O'Keefe. So just bear with us, and in a minute or so we'll have a quick chat with Connor. Right, so joined here by Connor O'Keefe, the captain for Southern United, suspended for this game after picking up a few yellow cards. Must be a bit of a tricky watch for you from the sideline, is it, Connor?
Yeah, I find it very difficult to watch when you're supposed to be playing. So I think it's always inevitable when you're a defender and you like a tackle that 5 yellow cards is probably going to happen throughout the season. So yeah, it's hard to watch. Obviously, you'd much rather be out there playing because you've obviously no effect on the game whatsoever. So yeah, it's inevitable. Just got to get on with it as part of the game. But good to see the lads are putting in a good performance so far. We're 2-1 up. And looking pretty good.
Yeah, and I think this is the first game you've missed all season, isn't it?
Yeah,
and
first one.
There's I mentioned earlier during the stream that there's a really good core of the team. I think it might be 5 players who up until today had played and I think started every game of the season, including about 3 defenders. So that must have been really important throughout the season to have that consistency.
Yeah, it's probably the spine of the team. You've obviously got Liam in goal, and then throughout the defence you've got Lasty, Eric Panzer, myself up until today, Danny Ledwith, Garvin then up the top as well. So you've got a good spine. Obviously, at different weeks for different reasons you might have players missing, and that's going to happen throughout a season. But it's important to have that core spine of your team, and then obviously they can build around that and obviously try to pick up the results along the way.
Yeah, and someone who hasn't played as many games this season, he's quite new to the squad, Connor McDonald, scored on his debut just a couple of weeks ago and scored the opener again today, pouncing on a goalkeeper error. Can you tell us a little bit about Connor and the impact that he's had on the squad? Because he's a wonderful player to watch. He plays with such a high sort of level of intensity out there.
Yeah, no, firstly I just want to say he done really well for that goal. He charged down the back 4, made them play it backwards, and obviously forced the keeper into making that mistake as well. So credit to him, he kind of forced them into that mistake and then finished really well. Yeah, no, he's a great lad. He's come in at a time I think where potentially the squad needed a little bit more of a boost again to kind of carry on to the final part of the season. He's a hard worker. He plays on the edge. He's on a yellow card there today as well, so he does like a tackle. But yeah, Connor, he's after coming in the last 2 weeks, he's settled in really well. I kind of knew him for maybe a couple of weeks before he came to New Zealand. I didn't know him really well, but yeah, he's a good lad, and he's kind of settled in brilliantly and added that extra bit that we needed so far. And he scored a great goal on his debut as well. Yeah. So he's added the bit that we needed to kind of push, because what our goal is, obviously we can't make the top 4 now on the table, but we can get better than last season and kind of consolidate what we done last year, get 5th place, get more points than we done last year, and we'll kind of see that as success. And yeah, that's our target. We're not kind of finishing out the season. We're kind of aiming for that.
Great, and it was another sort of new face to the squad who scored our second goal today as well, Ezrai Soreman, with a fancy wee header there at the far post. Can you tell us a little bit about him, because he's been quite an exciting player over the last couple of weeks as well? Yeah,
so Asa was in at the start of the season, pre-season, then he obviously had to go back because of visa, but then eventually his visa came through and he came back just after Christmas, I think it was. So obviously that's that extra import spot that you're allowed for a player from the Oceania island. So yeah, he's come in and he's an extra player in the attacking third. That obviously gives Paul another decision to make in terms of you need a bigger squad to get through all the games. More players provides more competition in training, and obviously people are competing for places, which should then in turn lift the standard. And he's got himself a great goal there today. He also brings a great support with him every time we get a home game. So yeah, Aza's come in and he's done well, so hopefully that continues for the last couple of games. With
the weather being a bit colder out there today, has his fan base made it along to the ground? I haven't quite heard them today, because they've made a great impact at the last couple of home games.
Yeah, I think once they know there's a roof over their head, they're okay in the stadium, but not here in Sunnyvale, where there's a gale force breeze going straight down the pitch. Yeah, I don't think they're made it here today, but good to see that the conditions aren't putting Asa off and he's managed to get himself a goal.
Yeah, so just a couple of games left in the season, I think, after today. Another another home game. I think that one's against Hawke's Bay.
Hawke's Bay, yeah.
And then
2 weeks,
with a break next weekend, and then finishing the season away to Eastern Suburbs. That was probably the earlier game against Eastern Suburbs this season was probably the one real blot on the copybook this season.
It is. It's something that we want to put right in the last game of the season. I think we came back off that Christmas break and we didn't do ourselves any justice in that performance. They played really well, they moved the ball really quickly, and we just couldn't get close to them. So that last game of the season, we want to kind of not so much get revenge, but we want to really redeem ourselves and look to finish with a good result and kind of put that kind of demons to bed, if you know what I mean. So well, it was a frustrating one. If you look back in the season, that's the one game that will stand out as we really did let ourselves down that day. So but overall, I think it's that gap in the Christmas. We lost, I think, 4 games in the bounce there. It's really kind of hurt our season in terms of breaking the top 4. So we need to really put that fixture or run of games, and we've lost twice to Canterbury as well this season. That's that gap between them. So we really need to improve on that if we want to break in next season.
Yeah, but as you said earlier, they've been making that steady progress. You're genuinely not far away at all from that top tier of teams when in recent seasons there has clearly been a bit of a gulf between the top sort of 3 or 4 teams in the league and the rest. And it's even great to see teams like Hamilton and Tasman this season can certainly beat anyone on their day as well.
Absolutely, I definitely think it's that kind of league on the day. Anybody can beat anybody. You look at where we've come forward as a club in terms of results against, for example, Auckland City, who are champions this year. We were very disappointed to come away with a 2-1 defeat away from this year, and obviously we're the first team to take points off them, and disappointed we didn't get the win that day as well. So I suppose from our mentality, we've definitely progressed as a club where you should be coming, if you're coming away from a game against Auckland City and you're disappointed not to get 3 points, then that shows how far we're coming.
It does, yeah.
Team Wellington got a good result at home and possibly could have got a win that day as well. Obviously the suburbs game's a blip, and the 2 games against Canterbury 1-0s, but it's been like that for the last 2 years, so they've just got that little bit extra edge on us at the moment. So in terms of a whole season, we need to be more consistent, and in those games against the top 4 we need to pick up more wins. That's the key for us to kind of break into the top 4.
Yeah, brilliant. And I don't think we're too far away from the second half getting back underway. I was saying to Chris at the end of the first half there that it sort of feels like there could well be a few more goals in this game, one way or the other, because the Phoenix Reserves certainly play a pretty sort of high pressing and high intensity game out there regardless of the scoreline. So how do you see the second half going here?
I'd like to say it'll be no more goals, to be honest. I'll happily take a 2-1 win. I mean, we've got that wind with us. Whether that'll change the game or not, I'm not sure. We look quite good on the counter-attack there. We had 1 or 2 more chances. Garvin had 1 or 2 as well. I fancy him potentially to get himself a goal today. But you've also got to be aware of, we've got to manage, we're 2-1 up now. We don't need to go and all-out attack to get more goals. They need to come at us. So it's about managing the game well now and making sure that we're in control and we stay in control.
Brilliant, and no doubt you'll be biting your fingernails on the sideline.
I hope not. I hope the lads get themselves a comfortable 2-goal lead and that we can just seal the deal. So I back them. I'm fully confident in them that they can get the job done now.
Great, well thanks Connor for coming in and chatting, and good luck for the team for the second half here. Looking forward to hopefully getting another goal just to make things a wee bit more comfortable there for the boys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great,
Cheers.
thanks Connor. Right, welcome back to Sunnyvale Park. Second half just about to get underway between Southern United and Wellington Phoenix Reserves. Southern United in the all blue strip and Phoenix Reserves in the all white, as Garvin Coughlin just waits for a split second before kick-off there. Southern United playing with a bit of a tailwind this half that did have a bit of an impact in the first half. Hopefully you stuck around and caught the chat with our usual Southern United skipper Connor O'Keefe at half-time as Coughlin swings in a free cross that's easily claimed by Zach Jones. But I'm not sure if you caught much the chat with Connor, Chris, but understandably he's finding it pretty nerve-wracking on the sideline watching the team in action, and he's I did say that I felt there might be a few more goals in this game, and he said he'd be delighted if it stayed 2-1 as a defender. As Ben Wayne is on the ball for Phoenix here and finds Stensness, the Phoenix goal scorer, in the middle of the park there.
Yeah, I was a little bit late getting back, Morgan, because I was too busy chatting with other people. There's lots of footballing people who have sort of arrived at half-time. Yeah. And,
it's great to see a lot of familiar faces here at Sunnyvale today.
I was chatting with Dylan, who is the brother of today's referee. And Dylan's based in Southland, referees National League Futsal. And there was also some discussion about, I don't know if you know Mark Matsis.
Yes,
yeah. So they asked if we had any commentary go-tos like Mark does. He's well known for shouting "goodness gracious me," apparently. So we'll have to develop our own.
We will. My main thing that I just keep focusing on is trying not to say any naughty words on air. I think I've managed to achieve that so far. As Ebbing is on the ball and lays it back for Sutton. Phoenix once again happy to try and knock around the short passes, and Sutton's gone down under a challenge there and wins a free kick in a dangerous position. And it is the Phoenix captain Sam Sutton who is lined up over the free kick at the moment. If you missed the first half, Southern United went ahead with a goal to Connor McDonald before Phoenix equalised late in the half through midfielder Gianni Stensness, and then Southern quickly went into the lead again with a goal to Azariah Soreman not too long before the break. So it's Wayne. No, it's not. It's Ebbing. That's a bit of a choreographed set piece there. I think as long as they're only a goal to the good here, Southern United are going to face a lot of pressure from Phoenix Reserves, but it might open up chances on the counter. Garvin Coughlin trying to create something there for Southern.
Again, this is where Southern have to be careful when they get caught in transition.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's the counter attack, isn't it? Just being careful not to get too many players caught forward. So build an attack down the right-hand side, and ball just squeezed through to Liam Little. Did we notice any changes at half-time, Chris? I'm not sure I've spotted any yet.
No, I can't see any changes to Southern. It looks to be the same team.
Yeah.
Setting up in a 4-3-3.
Phoenix Reserves did have to make an enforced substitution about midway through that first half with Noah Tippany-Clegg, I think it was, coming off and replaced by number 3, Curtis Mogg. Fjortov clattering into the back of Stensonus. No free kick awarded, and Fjortoft might have come off worse for wear with that clash. He's still down on the pitch. Phoenix reserves play on though, and Ben Wayne out on the left flank now. Whitehead gets back and does well to shield the Phoenix player off the ball, and I think Tony Whitehead felt that he went down a wee bit too easily there, as there was never a question of a penalty, but
yeah, things are flaring up a little bit here.
Yeah.
Tony Whitehead extremely unhappy. Some words were said. I imagine they weren't very polite, and hopefully it's just a talking to here from the referee rather than any cards. Meanwhile, Marcus Fjortoft on the other side of the field.
he's still laid out on the pitch, isn't he?
Yeah, he's actually, his chest is being checked by physio Jim Webb, but he looks to be getting up okay.
He may have been winded, maybe.
It did look like he stooped down low and maybe had some kind of contact with his head or his abdomen.
Yeah, potentially. But he is back to his feet. He's just on the sideline, but he's looking like he's wanting to re-enter the field of play, which is good. So Liam Little gets play underway for Southern United. Some more contact there, and Fjortoft's allowed back on the field now.
I think the referee's just telling Garvin to, that's the second or third time he's had a little push in the back when the ball's in the air.
He's gone, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Conor McDonald in the second yellow.
Yeah, so that's Conor McDonald being sent off for a second yellow card.
It's a huge moment early in the second half here. Southern United midfielder and goal scorer Conor McDonald picks up his second yellow card. A reasonably innocuous challenge in the middle of the park there. I guess that's just the way that he plays. But that's going to mean Southern are down to 10 men for the remainder of this match, with most of the second half still to play. Yes, it's certainly not the first time this season that Southern United have been down to 10 men for a big chunk of the match. As Wellington Phoenix immediately look to take advantage, and the shot there from Ben Wayne is blocked. But I think you're going to find now that Southern United will really have to shore up their defensive shape, and we'll see Phoenix reserves with a lot of possession for the rest of this match. As the Phoenix reserves battle away down that right hand side. The ball's hacked clear by Stephen Last, the captain for the day for Southern United. And it looks like that red card may be contributing to a substitution now early in the second half for Southern United, and I think it's going to be Abdullah Al-Khalisi who's going to make way. And number 11, Ben Wade, coming on for Southern United. It's going to make it a wee bit tricky with Ben Wade for Southern United and Ben Wayne for Phoenix reserves.
I've never been good at this Ben business, Morgan. So.
Yeah, at least you don't have Ben Dealey to worry about today. It's going to be an intriguing second half now. Rory Findlay clearing the ball, but it will be a corner for the Phoenix now.
I wouldn't be surprised if Paul O'Reilly's gone back to a 4-4-1 like he did against Tasman United when Marcus Fjortoft was sent off.
Yeah, they've done that, yeah, like you say, have done that on a few occasions now when they've been down a man. And yeah, so they've had a bit of practice, so they are fairly adept at that. Not that a team ever wants to be down a man. But the way that the Phoenix play, happy to knock the ball around and be in possession, they'll probably rate themselves a chance of taking advantage of that one-man advantage that they have now. Might see Southern United park the bus, but still a long period of the game still to go. Willem Ebbing into the box onto his left foot, and he didn't make great contact with the shot, but it's only just wide of goal there, so Phoenix threatening again.
I can see this being quite a stressful
This
40
will be
minutes or so, Morgan.
It will be a bit stressful for us. We've had a few of those, haven't we? We've sort of had the sun coming out a wee bit out there as well. Still quite a firm breeze, which is at the back of Southern United. There's a handball there by Ben Wayne for Phoenix reserves. Free kick right on halfway for Southern United.
There's a large migration of people moving outside now, Morgan.
Yeah.
Either that or there was no space inside.
Quite a spectacular outlook from sitting up here, isn't it? Looking across the pitch and right over towards Saddle Hill, which sort of sits between Green Island and Mosgiel.
You do get the feeling a little bit that the Phoenix certainly have their tails up and they've got nothing to lose at this point. And an extra player on the pitch that they're going to be fairly aggressive.
Oh yeah, they've got absolutely nothing to lose. They're down in last place on the table. As we said earlier, they've only had one win and one draw all season, but they've been very competitive in a number of their matches, and yeah, they've absolutely got nothing to lose here. So they'll be really keen to get players forward and attack. The Phoenix reserves look to build from the back. Boyd Curry, right fullback for the Phoenix. Here's the towering figure of Anthony Golick, who, as we said earlier, given a couple of injuries to defenders for the senior Wellington Phoenix A-League side, he could be looking at being a key part of that squad towards the end of the A-League season. Garvin Coughlin working hard in defence there and gets a wee knock and wins a free kick for Southern.
Just looking at number 13 for the Phoenix, just coming back onto the bottom of the picture there. Arm in a sling. Eye still pushing on the collarbone area.
Yeah, that was...
hopefully it's not the end of his season.
Yeah, Noah Tiffany-Clegg, who did appear to be in quite a bit of pain after the injury that he picked up midway through the first half.
Sydney United still with a couple of useful attacking options on the bench if they need them. Adam Hewson, who we saw last week, start against Tasman.
As Ben Wayne looks to split the Southern United defenders, but it is well dealt with, although Soroman has turned it back over and Stensness has the ball in the middle of the park. Yeah, Adam Hewson, it might have been his first start of the season, was it, last week against Tasman? He's made a few appearances off the bench.
Oliver Cloddy as well. I saw his arms in a cast, so broken wrist or fractured arm of some sort, but still on the bench today. Had his cast done in blue ready.
Yeah, I guess normally for someone as young as Oliver, because how old's Oliver? About 15 or 16, yeah. So normally you would think a game here against a pretty young Phoenix Reserves lineup would be a good chance for him to get some game time, but that may just depend now on how the game pans out, given Southern United were reduced to 10 men early in the second half, with Connor McDonald picking up a second yellow card from hero to villain after he opened the scoring.
Also on the bench is our own sort of travel-weary player, is Anthony Sibilic, who has played at several other National League teams in New Zealand.
Yeah, so a few options there for Southern United. As Phoenix Reserves now have the ball down the left-hand side, and Sam Sutton to Stensness, and looking to work those passes together. It doesn't quite work out for them. But one player that I'm pretty sure will come on at some point in this half, is Rory Finley. Doesn't quite clear it for Southern United, and they want to be careful to stay on their feet here. Ball's looped over towards the far post, and fortunately Curtis Mogg's header is straight into the arms of Liam Little there. Danger averted for Southern United. Yeah, one player who I'm sure we will see is Tess Kumzus, I think his name is, who I did see in action in a televised game earlier this season, and he was had some quite astonishing skills. He almost scored the goal of the season, really, in a move where he made a really clever turn as Coughlin from nowhere fires one at goal, but over the bar. Yeah, so he's a 20-year-old, and like Stensness, another player who's come over from Australia, and has represented New Zealand now at youth level. And I know he's got quite big reps on him. As Phoenix Reserves just catch a bit of a break, getting in behind the midfield for Southern there, but Southern now getting a number of players back. Sutton, no, that was Anthony Gollick, the defender, looking for the overlap there, but doesn't quite come his way. Mogg swings in a dangerous left-footed cross, but all the way through to the other side of the pitch. Callan Elliott, he's been a wee bit quiet since midway through that first half. I'm sure he'll be looking to be a creator now that Wellington Phoenix are a man up.
It's going to be a very interesting tactical battle this next 30 minutes, as both teams almost playing to their strengths in a way, and Southern's strength being solid and well organised, Phoenix's strength being passing and moving the ball, trying to penetrate. So fortunately it's going to be much more exciting than I was hoping for.
Yeah, I think there's going to be chances in the game, and Phoenix looking to build one now. Got some very tricky players on the ball, and Roy Finley just clatters into the back of Elliott there, but it won't be a free kick, it'll be a corner for the Phoenix. Swung in and near post, and Southern struggle to get that one clear, but Liam Little, with his big frame, just manages to get down and clear the danger there. Nervy moment there for Southern.
Are these the commentators?
Zach Jones looks to move the ball on quickly. Have to say, with Zach Jones, his mistake led to that opening goal for Southern, but he hasn't let his head drop too much. He's still looking to stick to his game, and there again just knocks out a quick first time pass to Ronan Wynn.
Well, the whole purpose of this squad is to develop the players, and he'll be in an environment where you learn from mistakes all the time, as long as you do learn. And that's what they're entering into this league is about in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and I know Zach Jones, I think he's still just 18. He's got big reps on him. He's played for New Zealand under-17s and picked up the Golden Gloves Award at the 2017 Oceania tournament. Here goes Anthony Golick, getting into nosebleed territory, sends it out to Mogg, the substitute. Swings in another cross, and that's a header that's gone in and equalised again for Wellington Phoenix. And you can see they're delighted. I think it was Ben Wayne who's been impressive all day, and it was a good cross from Mogg, and Ben Wayne met it with his head and passed Liam Little, and scores tied 2-2. Well, things get even nervy now, Chris.
Yeah, certainly from a Sydney United perspective, that was a very poor goal to concede.
Yeah, and Coughlin, you can see he's pretty fired up. He's trying to spark something in attack now for Southern United. Turns on the ball, tries to feed it through to Soroman, can't quite do so, surrounded by defenders. We mentioned earlier that the Phoenix Reserves have long been a bit of a bogey team for Southern United. They've actually got the measure over Southern United in the last 9 appearances, with the Phoenix having picked up 5 wins and Southern just 3, with 1 draw. And we see Adam Hewson come on for Azariah Soroman for Southern United. Adam Hewson in the number 3 shirt today. He'll be looking to bring a bit of a spark into the attacking third for Southern.
It looks like Ben Wade's moved to the right wing. Adam Hewson's slotting in on the left wing side.
As Ben Wayne, with a long range effort there, sends it wide of the Southern goal, but further encouraging attack there for the Wellington Phoenix Reserves. Phoenix Reserves certainly with a better possession. Senseness sends it out to the right touchline. Golick, the experienced head in this Phoenix Reserve side, on the ball, and he wins that tussle there with Ben Wade. Inside, and that was Kieran Richards just trying to work a 1-2, but well cleared by Southern.
In the last 5 minutes or so, you can really tell the A-League experience from Anthony Gollick. He's shrugged off a couple of challenges, put through some good balls. He's getting forward a lot more than he was in the first half. He's actually become quite a danger to starting attacks at the moment for Phoenix.
He's very classy, definitely stands out in this competition. Someone with multiple seasons of A-League experience.
Great win back there from Ben Wade.
Wade and Fjortoft working together, and Danny Ledwith surging forward and wins a free kick. It's these kind of opportunities that Southern want to make the most of now, with only around 20 minutes remaining.
See big Stephen Last, Marcus Fjortoft driving forward. Stephen Last hoping to add to his, I think he's got 2 goals
Two goals this season now. Picked up the goal against Auckland City here midweek a couple of weeks ago. It's going to be the left-footer Danny Ledwith, who's going to be swinging it in towards Fjortoft and Stephen Last, and somehow it just beats all of those players, and that was half a chance at the far post there. Nicely done by William Ebbing in the middle of the park there. Him and Sutton have combined nicely today. Sent left out to Mogg. He swung in the cross for that equaliser. Looking to get into space again. Here they go again, looking to work those short passes. And wasn't a bad cross there, and it's well cleared by the Southern defence. That cross beats Stephen Last, the first man, but Southern just about get it clear, and this is the kind of counter that Southern will be looking to launch. Garvin Coughlin on the ball, surrounded by 4 or 5 Phoenix reserves. Somehow he just about gets through them. Just needed a little bit more support there. Fjortoft forced back into the corner. He's going to try and win a throw in, and he does. Nice calm play by the Southern United defender there. Tries to work about another 12 metres there, but he is sent back by the referee.
Worth a try, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think our referee today, there's been a little bit go on in the game. He's had to show a red card, but hasn't been too much controversy so far in the match, I don't think. Finley with a nice ball out to the substitute, Adam Hewson, and he takes on his defender. And come on, ref. He's taken down, and it's an easy decision for the referee to award a yellow card there. Nice work by the substitute, Adam Hewson, down that left flank.
Yeah, excellent ball through from Roy Finley there.
Yeah.
To start off that attack.
Nice combination between the two youngsters for Southern United. So, free kick just outside the left side of the penalty area. Danny Ledwith again over the ball. Once again, he'll be looking for the tall timber of Stephen Last and Marcus Fjortoft. Despite their youth, this Phoenix Reserve side does have a couple of fairly big players themselves back there, including Gollick and Stensonis. It's looped in, but that's just picked up by the wind and sent a long way away from threatening there. So we're moving in towards the final 15 minutes or so here at Sunnyvale as Phoenix Reserves make a substitution. It's Boyd Curry, the fullback, who's come off, and on comes the player I spoke about earlier, Tasetin Kumzus. And they're going to make their third and final sub as well. And it's going to be Maximilian Batchelor who comes on. He looks like a big lad himself, and he's moved right up top. I think there's a couple of quite attacking substitutions there for the Phoenix Reserves, so they're going all out to find a winner here. Certainly feel like anything could happen in the closing moments of this match. Both teams with nothing to lose, really. Ben Wayne, he's been really impressive today. Oh, and a free kick awarded there. Ben Wayne, I think that was his sixth goal of the Premiership season for the Phoenix Reserves, comfortably their top scorer. So he's really kicked on this year after making a number of appearances last season without scoring a goal. I think he's still only 17 years old, so he's another one of these players to watch out for. And he runs over the free kick as it's swung in, and could have been a tricky one there, but well dealt with. Fjortoft and Ben Wade combine there to clear the danger. Really feels now, Chris, that the Phoenix Reserves are throwing everything out there. They've got a lot of players in attacking positions now. They're clearly really hungry to pick up their second win of the season here.
Yeah, from their perspective, a draw is not going to change much. If they can go for the win, they will.
Here's Golick on the ball.
It could open up space for Sydney United as well. So
it could, yeah.
But there's obviously a large danger here.
Golick with a beautiful ball in for Ben Wayne, but well defended by Eric Panzer. He got the clearance in, but still Phoenix threatened, and Wayne just about got on the end of that, but now here's Gavin Coughlin just about launching into a counter-attack for Southern there. You wouldn't be surprised if he was going to get a sniff in this final quarter of an hour.
He has scored a lot of goals in the last 10 minutes this season so far.
Yeah,
he
scored two late goals last week to overturn a scoreline against Tasman United up in Nelson, and I think actually back in the first round game against the Phoenix Reserves here up in Wellington, he scored a last minute winner in that game as well, actually. So yeah,
yep, he got a fairly late goal against Ham.
As Kumzus finds Ben Wayne, he opened up a shot there trying to curl it in. It was a couple of metres wide of goal, but nicely set up between Kumzus and Ben Wayne there.
Tony Whitehead just asking the players to raise the game there a little bit, raise the intensity. Possibly looking a little bit lethargic.
Looks like Southern United have been awarded a free kick there with Gavin Coughlin being held and led with flicks on a quick one, and Hewson pounces. Tries to take on his man and he'll win a corner.
Come on.
Once again, these are the kind of opportunities that Southern will be looking to take full advantage of, seeing as they're down to 10 men. Just wanted to give a shout out towards the end of the game here to the man in charge of the Southern United Twitter feed, Ed Stainsby. If you're not following Southern United on Twitter, you should be. He does some wonderful updates of the match. Ledwith, who swings in a flatter corner this time, which is probably the right idea with the breeze behind his back, but just lose out there, and Phoenix, they've got players surging down the left-hand side of the field here. Ben Wayne, once again a threat, has a go from distance. Might not have been the right option there. And now it's Garvin Coughlin on the ball, and he's got the unlikeliest candidate, Stephen Last. Excuse me, with him, but
There was a magic moment in the making there, Morgan.
yeah, I just about choked there seeing Stephen Last free in attack. Oh, Tony Whitehead sliding in there, luckily doesn't take his man, and long range effort there by Stensonis, but comes out to Garvin Coughlin. So good at holding the ball up and looking at his options, and look at that, he finds Ben Wade in attack. He's a wee bit isolated. Fjortoft, that clever by Danny Ledwith there, using his body to allow the ball to go to Whitehead, and now Hewson, he's one-on-one with Kellen Elliott, who's not a defender by trade, although he has played a bit of football in fullback position. Comes to nothing for Southern. Game's feeling very spread out now, with quite a lot of space in the middle of the park. Ebbing, he's been quality in the middle of the park for Phoenix Reserves today. Curtis Mogg, he's always looking to cross the ball in with his left foot. Ebbing on the edge of the box, gets a shot in, and well, there's a couple of feet away from the just sneaking in that left post. I think Liam Little was quite relieved. As we inside the last 10 minutes now, with the score locked 2-2. Phoenix Reserves twice equalising. Is there going to be a winner for either team here? Rory Findlay hoofs it forward. Easily sent back to the keeper though.
You do get the feeling that if Phoenix just keep doing what they're doing, they're going to get 2 or 3 more chances before this game's over.
Yeah, it does sort of feel like they're knocking on the door a bit, and here's Kumswas in space. As I mentioned earlier, he's a little bit of a wizard on the ball. Has a go from distance, but doesn't threaten the goal. It's going to be another free kick for Southern United there. It's from near halfway. It'll be interesting to see if they get a few players forward, and Marcus Fjortoft, who's playing fullback today, he gets himself right up on the edge of the Phoenix penalty area, so he's going to be the target here, I think, and Stephen Last also up beside him. So Southern hungry to try and find what could be a winner. And Fjortoft just about gets on the end of that. Free kicks awarded. It looked like Fjortoft was genuinely going for the ball there, but had a free kick awarded against him. It's like the referee has pulled out the yellow card.
It's an expensive weekend in fines.
Yeah, it looks like there may be a few fines. Admittedly, Marcus doesn't get through too many games without picking up a card. Just the way he plays. Good to see him getting forward to try and get on the end of that one though. And here he is defending again. There's Curtis Mogg though pounces on the ball, and the substitute there, Batchelor, lost out to Tony Whitehead there, who did well mopping up. Oh, well, I don't really know what Marcus Fjortoft was expected to do there, because William Ebbing just knocked the ball past, but Fjortoft couldn't just disappear. but Ebbing has won a free kick right on the edge of the penalty area. It could be the left foot of number 11, Sam Sutton, to send this one in, or it could be Ebbing himself. And it is Ebbing. Tries to curl it in, and Stephen Last got his header to it, but almost deflected back towards goal. That's a sloppy handball there by Phoenix under no pressure at all. Definitely turned out to be a nervy second half, hasn't it, Chris?
Unfortunately so. There's time for some elation yet, though, I'm sure.
There is.
From our perspective.
And Coghlan putting a bit of pressure on it. Zach Jones, he did enough, got his hand to it there.
Yeah, the danger now is this counter-attack.
Yeah,
Ben
he's
Wade's trying
Ebbing
to
again
sniff
driving
it out.
forward. Ben Wade's done well, and he's unlucky. He's copped a heel to the head there, and he's prone down on the turf. He's in a bit of pain. That was just a little bit unlucky. No intent from the Phoenix player there. Ben Wade punished for putting in a great effort in defence there. Number of the players just taking on a drink now as we enter the last 5 minutes of regular time.
From Sunday United's perspective, a draw wouldn't be the end of the world. That would leave them 3 draws, 3 wins in the last 6 games, remaining unbeaten. So that's something I'm sure they would have taken before that run of games started.
Yeah, I think the team's really proud of the unbeaten run that they're on after having a few games in a row in the middle of the season there without a win. They've turned around the end of the season nicely.
The Eastern Suburbs loss you spoke about earlier with Connor, that almost a trigger point for a change this season. They could have taken that really badly and I guess gone downhill, but even though they lost the game after that against Auckland City, they put in an incredible performance.
Yeah, Fjortoft to Whitehead tries to find Coghlan but can't quite do so.
Was that a drop ball I saw there, Morgan?
Yeah, I think it might have been.
It's the first time I've seen one of those in a game in a while.
Yeah. Fortunately, Ben Wade, who was the injured player for that stoppage in play, is back on board, number 11 for Southern, and Coghlan diving in, probably lucky not to concede a free kick there.
Yeah, I thought Garvin was very lucky there not to be caught up. He clearly was frustrated and missed the ball.
Yeah, genuinely going for the ball, giving it his all, but did catch the Phoenix defender. But Fjortoft is going to launch a long throw in towards the box. So that Whitehead, with a brilliant effort on the turn, and that struck the post, didn't it? And Zach Jones was well positioned, but it was hit with such ferocity that I just don't think he was going to keep that one out if it had just been a few inches to the left. Wow, big chance there for Southern United. Golick finds Mogg and Ebbing. Oh, clever ball. Straight through to Batchelor. Back to Mogg to swing in another cross, but it's a high loopy one. I think that's Ben Wayne causing havoc again, and gee, Batchelor getting in front of Liam Little, and I think Liam Little's not too happy with the contact on him there, but another chance there for Phoenix reserves.
Yeah, another example as well of the technical ability of some of these Phoenix players, and just bringing the ball down from that cross there exceptionally well to create more danger.
Yeah, you sort of feel like they are quite liking the situation of having the extra man out there and the style that they're playing. They're enjoying always looking to have a man open in space. But here's Southern on attack. Adam Hewson. He's looked dangerous since he's been on. He finds Coughlin, who got his foot to it, but it was just a little bit behind him. That was another half chance for Southern United to find a winner. As we just tick into the stoppage time here, and Lindsay Robinson, our fourth official, signals 5 minutes of additional time. There's been a couple of stoppages for injuries, so still time for something to happen here. Ebbing sends it out the right. Ben Wayne can't find a teammate though, but the Phoenix will get a corner. Swung in, but Whitehead does well to clear that one at the near post. Chris, I don't think I've noticed one of those hoardings over on the far side go down in the wind.
No, they've been surprisingly stable this half.
But here's a mazy run, and the shot wasn't fantastic, but it was a fantastic run from, I think it was Kellen Elliott there.
Just a bit of cheekiness on the touchline down there with Lindsay Robinson having to tell the Phoenix bench to give the ball boy back his football.
There's Whitehead trying to spark something now for Southern. Fjortoft, he's in a bit of space here. Ben Wayne's going to be through on the penalty spot, but cuts it back. Danny Ledwith, left foot.
Corner.
Not a bad effort, but gets a deflection. It will be a corner for Southern United very late in the game here. I think Danny Ledwith hasn't managed to score so far this season, but this will be a good time to do it.
This is a good time for any Southern United player.
Well, yeah, we'll take anyone. We'll take an own goal right now, won't we? Ledwith, he's just got to watch that strong breeze. It'll send the ball further away, and that's why it's a flat one. It's a good one, and just sped past a couple of Southern players who just couldn't quite get enough on it there. Out for a throw-in. Here's the Phoenix reserves once again, confident enough to play the ball out from inside their own penalty area. They try and get players forward. Ben Wayne sends it out left. Stensness, he's been impressive today, scored a goal for Phoenix reserves. Playing in a very deep midfield role, but he's got forward on occasions too. Anthony Golick drives forward. Left-footed player, he gets right into the area. He's looking for the return pass from Kumzus, but didn't quite come his way. And absolutely no one forward in attack. It was all hands on deck at the back for Southern United there. Still going to be a nervy last couple of minutes here. And this is a chance for Southern to counter, but that was a bit poor from Danny Ledwith. No one through the middle there for Southern United. Ebbing on the ball again. It's straight into Ben Wade though, and might have struck his arm, but it wasn't intentional, that's for sure, and he's now looking dangerous. Oh, and a huge challenge against a much bigger man, and William Ebbing there, and Ben Wade's been in the wars today since he came on as a substitute. But Rory Findlay does well to mop up at the back there.
Come on, Raf.
It's a dangerous cross, and it's a fantastic save down low to his left from Liam Little. Had to react quickly to get his left hand down to the ball. It was a clever wee flicked header at the near post, and
Paul O'Reilly just a little bit upset there, firstly for the challenge on Ben Wade, and secondly for pushing it back on Adam Hewson.
Yeah, they wanted a couple of free kicks in the build-up to that, so they wouldn't have been happy if they conceded there, but Liam Little comes to the rescue.
There's a Phoenix player crawling off the pitch.
Yeah, may have been the substitute Max Batchelor who had that effort from close range kept out by Liam Little and has picked up an injury for his troubles. So Phoenix reserves down to 10 men for the final moments of this match. Won't be long to go. 5 minutes of stoppage time was signalled, and we're into that time now. Ben Wade for Southern just hacks it forward and over the sideline. And I thought that was the full-time whistle, but it's not. So the referee runs over and shows a yellow card to Max Batchelor, who was off the pitch with that injury, and I'm not too sure what that was about. He may have tried to re-enter the field. Yep. So picked up a yellow card for that, and Garvin Coughlin trying to take a quick free kick late on here for Southern, but has been told to retake it. So
it's a strange end to a game.
It is a bit of a sloppy end to the game here, but right in the dying moments of this match, Liam Little's going to look to pump the ball forward. In fact, it's up near half iron. Denny Ledwith is going to try and target Stephen Last on attack. Probably the last chance of the game here. Sent him, but not quite far enough, and the referee there, Campbell Kawanawar, signals full time, and it's a 2-2 draw.
We're going to introduce a new feature now called Chairman's Man of the Match. What do you think, Matthew?
For us? I think if you go past Garvin, still works under, had a few chances, just didn't stop working for the whole game. Yeah, that's my pick.
Okay, Garvin Coughlin is the Chairman's Man of the Match.
Yeah, what does he get shouted for that, Matthew?
It's a personal award.
Yes. Might bear at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Not until then.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to say I was really impressed with the performance from the visitors today, the Phoenix Reserves. They've twice come from behind to level things up 2-2 with Southern United, but in saying that, Southern United were reduced down to 10 men early in the second half with a red card to Connor McDonald, and did well to hang on with against a Phoenix team that was happy to knock the ball around and try and create an attack.
So Morgan, we're back in 2 weeks' time, home against Hawke's Bay United, 2 p.m. kickoff on a Sunday, I believe.
Yep, fantastic. That'll be another game where even though Southern can't quite make the playoffs now, they will be looking to pick up 3 points against another mid-table team in Hawke's Bay United. And that will be the final home game of the season, so it'll be good to get a good crowd out at Sunnyvale Park for that game as well. It's good to see a decent number turn out in pretty chilly conditions here today.
Yeah, I'd just like to say thank you again to Team Bakey for the live stream. As usual, exceptional work. And we're looking forward to some additional features we were being teased with earlier, Morgan.
Yeah, things could get even cooler for that final home game of the season. Not to put any pressure on our tech guru, Anthony, but we really appreciate what he's put together with the live stream here. We're glad we can bring this to people around the country and around the world. We know that there's quite a few people tuning in from over in Europe. A few of these players have family in that over in Ireland and the UK, and it's pretty neat that they can watch their team in live action from New Zealand.
Well, I'm going to head off, Morgan. There's the work's just begun. All the signs need to be brought in, and the nets and the ropes and the post-game comment duties. So I'll leave you to wrap this one up. But
Yeah.
thanks everyone for tuning in.
Yep. Thank you very much to everyone for tuning in. We hope that you're tune in again for our final game in a couple of weeks' time, final home game in a couple of weeks' time. Thanks once again. Cheers.